I feel bullying is kind of like an iceberg. What we see reported is oftentimes just the tip of the iceberg.
Schools are supposed to be safe spaces, places where students learn, grow, and shape their identities and future. For many, school is a second home. But what happens when that home feels unsafe? When bullying and violence leave students and parents anxious about their well-being? Parents trust schools to protect their children, but with recent incidents making headlines, is that trust fading?
As a parent, I feel alarmed. I feel scared, not just for my children, but for the kind of society that we are raising.
You know, when I think about unmet needs, I actually think about what it's like for the environment of a kid at home. And I think the challenge oftentimes is we punish kind of like misbehavior or anything without really going a level deeper, right? So, I mean, even from a bullying case, like what would unmet needs look like?
When there is conflict, what happens? Okay, parents immediately use like physical violence, for example, right? And then they come to school and then they start acting out in this way. And so they prey on people who they perceive as weaker. And so we have this like cycle of violence just continuing.
So what can be done to prevent this? And are teachers equipped enough to handle it?
On paper, actually, Malaysia has quite a lot. So yes, framework exists and the law also exists and finally can close some formal gaps. But there is still a large gap between what is written and what children experience.
Part of the gap for teachers is in teaching children how to recognize signs of bullying themselves and how teachers can help children become not just passive bystanders but active disruptors of bullying incidents.
When we're talking about teachers, teacher training, we have to also take a step back and really look at teachers' roles today, right? Teachers are doing a lot, but we are asking them to carry more than what they have been equipped for.
I think it's going to take a real collective effort to really move the needle in reducing bullying. I think if everyone can say, hey, we want a school that is safe for kids and, you know, fully anti-bullying, what I would see, let's say, teachers doing is like, okay, there's culture in my classroom that I need to build. I see a counselor kind of going above and beyond, kind of identifying kids that are at risk of bullying or being bullies. I see parents taking a little bit more time, kind of checking in on kids that may be misbehaving in school, right? I also see peers. If you're noticing your friends being bullied, how do you come alongside with a little bit more grace and love?
Policies can set the foundation for safer schools, but they're not enough on their own. Keeping children safe requires everyone's involvement. At the end of the day, their welfare is a collective responsibility. This is Najwa Farhana reporting for Kinitv.